Hello, today I'll show you this nice macro. So what it does is basically it highlights your inventory. It's like a quality of life thing where if your inventory is like kind of big like this and I don't know, you're trying to find things faster, you can like use this and it highlights it. So as an example, whenever you have a config and you start, you just do load config and it just does this. You can also edit. So for example, these are god spells, or what I consider as god spells. Ooh, okay, wait, I have to fix up it later. But gate is also a god spell, in my opinion. These are class moves, like the color, and this is spell. This is how a spell, normal spell looks like the color of it. Uh, so yeah, and the others. So let me show you. So the only problem right now with this, and honestly, I don't think it's a big deal, but when you remove it, it's gonna take a bit, like quite a bit, until they get removed, and they're kind of transparent. That's why I added this setting. So if you go settings, so do not change this. These are like recommended. It's up to you if you want to change them. It depends on your resolution. If your monitor, like display settings, I mean, is 1920 by 1080, and the scale is 100, it won't make a difference. You can use this, and it's gonna work. This, ignore this. It'll just keep it at one. Just ignore it. Transparency is the transparency. So 0 is invisible. 255. It looks not invisible. So as an example, I'll show you. It's all about preference. So if I reload this, load it. Look, it's all solid blocks. And for me, I don't really like this. So let me just. For me, I don't really like this. So I'm just gonna like keep it at around 50, 90, 70, or probably 100. Now, how do you add your own moves? Because if your resolution, like display, everything else is different, it's not really going to be able to detect it. So don't click this. This is just for a test. Like, for example, when you add something and you want to test, you click this. Because if you click this, it's going to overwrite your current configuration. And I'll tell you about this in a second. So, for example, you want to add configs. Um, it's very, very, very simple. So you do this right here. Hold on. So there's this library. So this is how the file is gonna look like. The document is just gonna explain everything in tiny details. Uh, this is what you're gonna use. Ignore this. This is like a backup. And in the library, you use find text, which is what we're gonna use to add moves. So you do this, and it's gonna look like this. And one more thing for people who are only looking for configs, this is where you find the config. So this is the settings one, which is for settings right here. And this is for the moves where it saves and everything. And basically, uh, when you open this, it's gonna look like this. And to add moves, you make sure you adjust this. So for my screen, since the moves are like they're like square. So make sure that the height and the width are the same. For my display and resolution, it's 20 by 20. You click capture and this box is going to appear. And let's say I want to capture something like, I don't know, Armis. So I right click it and then I right click again. And then move down to Armis. You click gray to gray and then you click OK. You copy it. And then you bring your node out, paste it. This is what it's going to look like. You do not care about this part and you do not care about this. So you only want the quotation to quotation. If you copy it, it's going to look like this. And you add it right here. You do not click start detection. You select the item type. So what did we do? I think it was a spell. So you do spells, add pattern, done. Now if you load config, it's going to tell, okay, it was Armis. It's going to tell us it was Armis. And you can do this for others. As an example, I will do it for potions. So let me just do this. Make sure the number does not appear in the things because it's gonna detect it. So if the number does not match the thing, it does not detect it. So make sure it's like this. Avoid detecting this. Just this, and then you right click it again. Then you make sure it did not detect the number part, and it did not. So gray to gray. Okay, copy it again. After you copy it, notes, paste it, quotation to quotation. Gonna look like this, and then you exit the macro, enter the macro, or refresh it, and then you put it in here, and it was potions. So right here, and then add pattern, and then done. Whenever you want to load, you click load config, and it's gonna look like this. Boom, potions. Looks very sick. The GYs disappear like after a while, even if they don't disappear. I add like a kill timer because there's this bug where it, even if it doesn't detect it, it takes like a bit of time. Now, I explained the main functions, so I'm gonna release the script in Macro Haven. It's where you're gonna be able to get them. So let me show you. So these are the defaults, like the complete default settings for the script or settings, uh, transparency and everything else. This is the colors. You can change them if you want, or you can add more. By the way, if you want to, like for example, you're quirky like that, you want to add, I don't know, cowls. You click, you do a quotation, space, and then cowls, and then another a comma, not quotation, another comma, and then do this, and then do like a color. Like for example, you just write C white, and this is gonna appear, and then you just control it like that. And let's say we want, I don't know, we want this red, and then you add it here too. You add it at the beginning, the comma, and then it has to be the same name. Cowls. Did we name it Cowls? Yes, Cowls, and that's it. And the space. Save it. Refresh it. Boom, and it's gonna also do the same color. You don't even have to like do anything. I'll explain another config part, which is important. So for the detection, sometimes you will notice it uses quite a lot of CPU, and for me, I increased it. So look, what you're gonna do is go down all the way here. You see this 30 and 30? Only for these two. Ignore this one. This one is you need this to be at 0. So for this one and this one, they use a lot of CPU if it goes below 30. So the less, the more CPU, the more, the less CPU. Default is at 100. 100. 0. So default is at 100 for these two. This one is 0. So I made it 30 because it's kind of faster, like for detecting it. Otherwise, it will be slow. Like for example, what I mean by slow is it's going to detect this, and then it's going to detect like this, and then it slowly detects this. But right now it's detecting all of it because I put it as 30. So it's completely up to you whether you, if it's like CPU intensive and you want to like change it, just change this part of the settings like this. I'll put like comments to guide you, and if you have any questions, you can just DM me or ping me in my macro heaven, or probably just DM. And yeah, that's all. Cool macro. Works for any game as long as this has a solid background. Same with the inventory. Anyway, bye.